Hello my loves, we are back. It is May 21st and we are planning out my bullet journal for June 2022. Now, it would not be a bullet journal planned with me of mine if I did not lose some footage. So we're jumping right into the cover page and let's get started with the line art. Also another disclaimer, my little fuzzy head pops into this video so much for no random reason. For some reason, I leaned so close to my bullet journal like throughout this entire video. So if you see my little fuzzy head pop up in the bottom left corner, just ignore that, okay? And let's move along. So my June 2020 bullet journal theme is basically just cute food, I guess. I originally wanted to do a theme with like angels and cherubs and white flowers, but I actually ended up recreating my June 2020 theme instead. I'm gonna put a video here on the screen so you can kind of see what it looked like, but this is before I started filming my bullet journal plan with me's. It was like the month before because I started my YouTube channel in July 2022, but in June I did a Paris and macaron theme because Paris was and still is like my favorite city. I know I'm cliche, but it is. And so I ended up accidentally recreating it because just like in that theme, I'm drawing macarons and nothing has really changed because I still like the same favorite colors and I still like drawing macarons, but I still don't like eating them. So overall, it's kind of just like a throwback to the past, but I will say it's interesting to go back and recreate your old bullet journal themes. And if you're ever in a rut and don't know what to do, I would definitely recommend trying this out because it was so fun actually realizing the parallels between my old theme and this one. And furthermore, I found a couple videos like this where I've recreated my old bullet journal themes only for the cover page, not the entire theme, but it's something I definitely want to continue doing because it's super fun. So comment down below if you want to see more videos like this or just doing the cover page perhaps. I'm just recreating old bullet journal themes. Either way, it's a great way to get inspiration from your old self. So that's just a cute little tidbit of information, I guess. But all that to say, I'm in love with my bullet journal theme this month. I usually did not like drawing food, but I decided that this month I was scrolling on Pinterest too much not to draw aesthetic food because that's all I've been saving recently is pictures of like aesthetic drinks and coffees and like desserts and stuff on people's stories. So I just kind of wanted to recreate it in this bullet journal theme. Although the plan was to draw all different types of desserts with creams and crisp pies and ice cream and cakes and cupcakes and everything, but I ended up only throughout this entire setup drawing macarons, berries, I suppose, and these little cakes over here on the left, which actually I've only seen in Brave, like the movie Brave, Disney Pixar, but I ended up actually Googling it, and the best I could find were they're just iced buns, sweet buns, iced cakes, whatever, but they look absolutely divine and they did in the movie as well. So definitely fun to draw and probably delicious to eat. And I found them on Pinterest, which confirms the fact that they're cute and aesthetic, so they're going into my bullet journal. As I'm finishing up coloring this spread, you can kind of see that I'm pulling back some of my favorite colors ever. I am a beige girl, okay? I love the color beige, love different shades of brown, and not to mention that food really only comes in different shades of brown usually, so made it easy to tie that into this bullet journal theme. But also I'm adding the pinks and the little green for the leaves and the macarons, and I also brought in some blue for the berries, and all that together pulls into a nice color palette that really fits me, at least right now. And also it kind of ties in very well with the transition from spring to summer, so I'm just super happy with how all these colors work together. And as always, all the stationery that I'm using will be linked in the description box below if you want to check it out. Some of the links are affiliates, just FYI, so if you want to support me, that's a great way to do so. But other than that, let's move on to the next spread, which is going to be my calendar and habit tracker page. One thing I like to mention is I am still doing dotted lines this month because I realized last month that I just love the way that looks. I think it just kind of brightens up a spread a little bit, even if it's a very minimal touch, because the lines aren't just as thick and boring. They have a little pizzazz to them, they have some gaps, and something about that really just makes me happy. So I brought that back from last month, and it might be continuing for a while because it will definitely be added into my bullet journal style, quote unquote. So you guys have seen me do a basic calendar and habit tracker like a jillion times before, so go watch any other of my bullet journal plan with me's if you want to hear me chat about drawing straight lines and stuff like that. But instead, as I finish out this spread, let's do a little life update. So I recently have been so excited for summer. If you follow me on Instagram, you know this is so true. I've been talking nonstop about my plans for this summer. So basically my plans are I'm going to go visit my family in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the beginning of this month, and then later halfway through summer I'm actually going on a cruise to Alaska, which is going to be so exciting. And both of these I am hoping to film and make into somewhat of a vlog, which kind of circles me back to something something I talked about recently on my channel about how I want to add more vlogs into my channel at least once a month, but also as I'm preparing to go into college, since I'm a junior about to be a senior, I'm of course planning for leaving home and everything, and one of that includes picking my major, and I've been thinking a lot about going into a film industry along with like digital marketing and stuff, so that means I'm going to need a portfolio. So I'm currently working on a portfolio project, and I'm not going to get into too many details about it because honestly it's none of your business and y'all probably don't even care, but it does require me to do a lot of filming this summer. So this month, and with vlogging and portfolio making and all that stuff, I'm going to be doing a lot of filming in these next couple weeks, and I'm excited and nervous, but I think I'm ready for a big project like this. So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening this summer, but I'm definitely going to be recording a good chunk of it, so I'll have it in the video for memories, and yeah, it's going to be super exciting. School is also finally out as of when you're watching this. I'm officially a senior in high school, which is exciting. I've been waiting to be a senior for, well, I guess 12 years, but I do believe it is the best year to be in school, so I'm just pumped for this next year, and hopefully everything will go very well. Now, I could not do a life update without talking about books, so unfortunately I am in a slump yet again. I cannot seem to get out of these slumps when I'm recording these bullet journal plan with me's. For some reason, the end of the month is just not a good reading time for me, but recently I did read 2 books in a duology. It's called Full Tilt, and then the second book is called All In by Emma Scott. And they were both so good. I'm sure you guys have heard of them. They're quite popular and also quite old, so like about a decade old, I think, so you probably have heard them before, but they're basically just romances, and I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, so I'm not really going to go into much detail about it, but basically they are very sad. They would be tearjerkers if I didn't already know the plot before I went into it, so it's definitely a sad romance on both ends actually, but very enjoyable. I gave the first one 4 stars and the second one 5 stars, so I'm very excited about reading those books. And now, since it's going into summer, I do want to read a summer book, but I want to be far enough into it that I'm already hooked. I don't want to start a book, because starting a book is usually like the worst part, because you have to learn the characters and you have to learn the character's best friend and their setting and everything boring, but you don't get all the tension that comes with a romance until you're like 5 chapters in, and that's just the awful part you kind of have to muster through, you know? So I don't really want to start a book, I just want to be into it. But here are some books that I'm hoping to read at some point this summer. I want to read It Happened One Summer, which went viral on TikTok like last year. Everyone's talking about it, everyone loved it. I've been meaning to read it. And then also The Spanish Love Deception, which everyone has mixed reviews about, but I think I'm gonna have to read it eventually just to say that I did and have my own opinion about it. So that might happen this summer, but I have tried to start that book twice and not successfully either times. So we'll even see what happens with that, because I've heard that Elena Armas is a very good writer and it may also be her debut. I'll have to double check on that, but so far I am not hooked. As a huge turnaround from book talk books and adult books at that, I also am thinking about rereading a YA book that I read in like 7th and 8th grade called The Summer I've Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. You guys have probably also heard of it because there's the show coming out this summer on June 17th, which is actually 2 days before my birthday. So I really want to reread that because it was such a good series and gives you all the good summer vibes, you know? But my problem is that A, it's a 3-book series and you have to wait till the 3rd book before anything interesting happens, honestly. So I'm just like, do I want to go all through that again? And 2, it's also YA, and I've been reading a lot more like NA and adult books recently, so I'm like, is it going to be too childish? I don't know. So if you have any book recommendations for me, definitely comment them down below, because I'm all here for the book recommendations. And if you want to see any of my recommendations, follow me on Goodreads, follow me on Storygraph, both are linked down below, and also check me on Instagram because I always talk about my books in my stories, and you probably want to hear about that. I feel like I'm chatting so quickly, but also this month is my Sweet 16, which I'm so hyped about. I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but I am planning a party, which I will vlog either for the channel or the portfolios. I'm definitely looking forward to that, and all the excitement that's going to come with my birthday and Father's Day, which is coincidentally on the same day, so happy Father's Day. But if you wanted to give me a little birthday gift, we could maybe hit 2,000 subs. So subscribe below. Anyways, moving on. Wow, I wasn't really paying attention, but we are already in the birthday spread. Well, birthday and extra spread is what I'm calling it, because it's like 3 miniature little spreads all squished into one. So on the left I have a huge birthday brain dump, which is pretty basic and straightforward. It's gonna be a brain dump where I can do general plans like brainstorming from the food, the catering, etc., doing any general to-do lists, in designing the invite that I still need to make, although I'm almost done with it in my head as I haven't actually published it yet. But all that to say, I'm just gonna go in this huge little box on the left, and then on the right I have at the top an expense tracker, which I have never actually done before, but decided to add in this month because I do making a small income now, so I wanted to practice budgeting and track that in a little expense tracker. So I'll do both adding money and subtracting money, you know, depending on the transaction. You guys know what money means, we can move along. And then at the very bottom, I'm having the classic master to-do section, which I do like literally every month because I love a good monthly to-do, so y'all know the drill. Honestly, this entire plan with me is me just sticking with old spreads, well, mostly, other than the expense tracker, but all the other spreads are things that I seem to do like every month and barely changing anything. But honestly, that might be a good thing that I'm being consistent and I know mostly what works for me in my bullet journal, and also so that I'm not making spreads that I not use. Like I'm not making a mood tracker, I'm not making any extra spreads that I know I'm not going to be needing, because that's a waste of time and space and energy, and I should only be focusing on things that I actually need. As I'm finishing up this spread, I did want to talk for a second about lives. So as of the day that I am filming this voiceover, I actually went live on Instagram this morning, well, earlier afternoon, whatever, to go live and record my weekly spread on Instagram, and it was actually quite an interesting experience. It's my first time going live on Instagram, and I personally enjoyed it very much, but mostly because there were no technical difficulties. If you've been on my channel for a little while, you know that my YouTube channel has had difficulties with going live. I've done it 3 times, had technical difficulties like twice, so I enjoy going live on YouTube because the audience is much more curated towards bullet journaling, and it's not just like my friends and family following me. However, I seem to be much more efficient in going live on Instagram because I literally just pressed a button, went live 15 minutes, chatted for a little bit, and left, and it was super easy and super convenient. So I don't know, maybe comment down below, vote what you think, YouTube lives versus Instagram lives. I'm down for both, and I like going live. I like chatting with you guys. I like, you know, connecting with you, doing my bullet journal spreads with y'all, but I just have to figure out a method that works because I'm going to have a lot of free time this summer and I would love to go live, but I don't know what platform to do it on. So just vote down below, and honestly, I guess that is it. If you know anything about me and bullet journaling, you know that I usually use 2 bullet journals every year, and as it is June, we are almost halfway through the year, and so that means for July, I'm going to be starting a new bullet journal. So definitely look out in the next couple weeks because I'm going to be posting my new bullet journal plan with me for the second half of 2022, which I'm super excited about. The notebook is gorgeous, y'all. I cannot wait to show it to you. You know I love them in their journals, so that setup is coming very soon and I'm super excited to show it to y'all. If you are anything like me, you are constantly spending time on social media, and if you are roaming the interwebs, you need a good VPN. So if you haven't heard of them already, I would like to introduce you guys to NordVPN. NordVPN is a premium VPN service that gives your computer or phone a new IP address, and so you can roam the internet without worried about hackers finding your information or getting trapped on public Wi-Fi. Of all the VPNs that I've used, and trust me, with a school that has no service, I've used a lot, NordVPN is definitely the fastest to connect and has locations all over the world. It's also really convenient because you can change the location of your computer, so you can watch things like Netflix or Disney Plus in another country, which gives you access to more shows if you needed another incentive. I'm always raving about NordVPN, even outside of a thing like this ad break, so if you are interested in trying out NordVPN for yourself, I do have a link down below in the description box, so make sure you go check it out if you're interested and get yourself a secure and safe VPN connection. I really hope you loved this bullet journal setup. Definitely comment down below your June bullet journal theme if you bullet journal, because I would love to get inspiration from you and from others. If you want to see more of my bullet journal setups, there is an entire playlist here on my channel, so tap the screen if you want to see some more bullet journal inspiration as you make your June bujo. Anyway, that's going to be it from me. I love you guys very much, and I will see you next Saturday. Toodles!